everybody and welcome back. Today is the 1st of November. As usual, I'm doing my interval training every other day. But today was a special day. As you might know from the last episode, a lot of trees have been falling on the trail down. So I decided not to ride that section again until they have cleared out the trees and checked other trees if they are endangered to fall down unexpectedly. So only after getting back home I understood which danger I put myself in. So today I went on the safe side and rode up the tarmac road, which is leading into the forest. Let's say that's the main road leading up into the mountain, and I thought the firefighters have already checked all of the trees and cut down the trees blocking the street. So it, for me at least, seemed a bit safer than the usual uphill I'm taking, which isn't public road. And even there have been a lot of trees falling down, but they have been already cut into pieces. Like, I didn't count them on the uphill, but it has been around, 10 to 15 trees which have been uprooted by the heavy wind which was blowing a few days back. And for my birthday, I got a sports watch which is recording also my heart rate, which is a pretty cool feature, as now I can optimize my interval training sessions better. And today was the very first ride where I took my watch with me to see how my heart rate is performing during a ride. This has a few advantages, like with the watch I can do my interval training without my phone, as usually I have to bring my phone on the ride. It comes in quite handy if I have to make any emergency call or take a picture. But with only the smartwatch, I don't have to bring any other electronic devices, which makes the ride a bit more disconnected and freeing. And usually during the intense intervals I would push as hard as possible, but this time with the heart rate monitor I was able to train right within the boundaries of the intense interval, which is in my case up to 165 beats per minute. Usually I would exceed that. I made a short test. Like normally during the 5 minutes I would push myself as hard as I can to max out those 5 minutes to ride as fast as possible. But I have seen actually while doing so I'm already exceeding that intense heart rate section and I'm entering into the max heart rate zone. What I understand from those heart rate zones is that you actually have to train within a specific zone to get the best results. Like exceeding it is actually, I don't know if it's harming, but at least it isn't improving the riding performance at all. Or at least the benefits you get from one particular section isn't maximized by maxing out the zone and actually getting into a different zone. But while talking, I will probably do a test interval of 2 weeks to see actually if my performance is improving, because before I always exceeded the intense interval, which is improving my anaerobic performance. So I will see if 2 weeks of training within this zone and not exceeding is actually bringing me better results than I had before. Like, I don't want to rely on conventional wisdom before testing it with my own riding experience. Besides that, I'm probably the worst bike owner ever existing. Like, I didn't wash my bike since a few rides, and usually that's not necessary as the rides I'm taking are pretty dry each time. But the last ride, as we had a lot of rain, it was pretty muddy and a lot of mud has been collected by my bike. And I thought on today's ride, well, it will work anyway, like the shifting and so on, even with the mud on, it will still be rideable. Which wasn't true, like the shifting and the derailleur made a few problems, like the chain wasn't running as smooth as it should usually. I tried to stop and clean it with my fingers, but actually it didn't brought any results. So like, I think there are several reasons causing this. Like one, a lot of dirt has covered the derailleur itself. Furthermore, the chain is pretty old. Like, I heard that you should change it every 1000 kilometers, as the links itself, they tend to stretch more and more due to the usage. And I usually ride more than 1000 kilometers a year. And I've changed it, I guess, this spring the last time. So I have probably exceeded already those 1000 kilometers. And furthermore, I guess the crash, which happened more than 1 week ago, was on the side where the derailleur was, so it could be that it's slightly bended and therefore is causing a bit of shifting problems. So I still have to set it up properly, and today after the ride I quickly washed down the bike and applied some grease, as also that is missing. This not smooth running chain is due to that, as I guess there is a lot of friction within the chain itself. But let's hope for the best, and if it's not running as smooth as it should on next time, I have to get back and check the bike again. And while riding, I noticed that actually one bolt was loose. It's pretty an important bolt as it is linking the rear part of my bike. My bike is a full suspension bike to the main frame. Like the bolt is located where also my pedals are mounted. I've just seen it halfway in the ride, so I couldn't get back to my home to fix it. Actually, one part of the bolt was sliding out and the other part somehow lost the grip from the second part of the bolt, so I had to push it in. I used the Allen key and some leverage magic to get it back in place, as I would have had to remove the pedals to actually get to the screw, to hammer it in with some sort of plastic hammer, but I managed to get it in with leverage, and then I fixed it from the other side with the Allen key. Unfortunately, I don't have a torque wrench, so I had to do it manually, hoping that I'm not breaking anything, but I usually tend to fasten the bolt not as hard. I try to guess what's the right amount of torque to apply. Not the best method, but as said, I don't have a torque wrench to make it properly. And while doing so, I also checked the other bolts. They have been more or less tightened well, so no big deal. But still, I'm probably the worst bike owner of all. With that said, thank you for listening, and until the next time.